He's confident. He's confident in what he sticks by. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Right.
So like when they give him shit tests, he's got a whole bunch of fucking material to back it up.
Yeah.
You know
Basically, what'll happen is
that's the great thing about this guy right here, man. Is like he knows his fucking shit.
What'll happen is, let's imagine you're in a room, right? You're in a room with like 5 other people, and if you believe what you believe and you can convey it better than them, then they will buy your shit, whatever you're selling. Because the stronger frame will eat the weaker frame.
Right.
If you're doing what you've been doing your whole life, you're going to get the same results. So we're going to say, do you want to keep hitting your head against the wall? Or do you want to try something new and maybe change the results, change your future, change your life? You see the one in your right hand, which is the you 3 months from now, 90 days from now. And I want you to imagine the one in your right hand, the new you, getting bigger. And I want you to see the old you getting smaller. And then I want to take you 2 of those and I want you to clasp them together. Because I don't want you to lose your old self. I want you to keep some of your old self. But I want the new you to begin to take over your self-image. Cool? So you'll begin to see yourself as that guy. By controlling our emotions, we'll be able to control the frame of the interaction. If you have like a Republican versus a Democrat, right?
Right.
He has his version of the truth, this guy's version of the truth. But in truth, all truths are just partial truths, and partial truths change over time. So this guy believes this guy believes this. They start an argument just because of their social program. Frame control aspect right here is like, a lot of guys will walk up and say hi, and she says right away, she's like, I have a boyfriend. And most guys buy into the frame of, oh, she just rejected me, okay, I'm gonna eject. Instead,
Oh, that's cool.
I might be like, my frame is like, she started talking to me, she said she had a boyfriend, so my frame is that she's open to communication. I'm gonna answer her question. She said, I have a boyfriend, and I say, oh, really, where's he at? Is he a cool guy? It's hard to meet cool people in Vegas. Can he cook? Shit, the 3 of us should hang out sometime, maybe he can cook for us. Right? It's just totally, and then she's like her brain
She never heard that before.
right there.
She has never heard that before.
Because every status starts going up, and she starts dropping. And right there, at that point, she'll usually start apologizing. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be like that. And right there, you got her.
Because believe it or not, this guy right here, man, he started something and he has something great. Something great.
That's right, when he's popping up on the radar now of some gurus.
Ryan,
so watch your back, dude.
All the time, people joining the group. And
That's what got me to come here. I was looking at the whole thing going, damn, they actually have something that's organized in pictures. They go out and do stuff. The guy looks cool, man. I'm like, let me call him up and find out all about him.
The people that I'm hanging out with, we are doing something, and we are doing something successfully. We are becoming somebody. Somebody differently than what you are right now.
What is, there's game, right? And then there's like inner game.
Yo, man, you're getting some treatment right here, man. You're getting some fucking treatment.
Hey, this guy PayPal in, so we gotta fucking give him his money's worth.
You are getting your
No,
treatment.
man, sorry.
No. I like to give value, man. That's the thing. You're getting some good shit.
Basically, like, I'm just gonna go into some deep inner frame stuff. And there's game, and then there's your inner game. And your inner game is like your egoic mind, whereas your outer game is your personal avatar, the way you dress, the way you speak, everything that you're conveying outwardly. But your inner game is like, that's you, yourself, right? Your center. So we're gonna go into that and how to make that stronger. Some people come with like a weak frame. A frame is like an NLP term for the way that the person views reality. The AFC guy may fall for shit tests.
Like for instance, the other guy is like, oh, I don't approach 2 sets. I don't do this. I don't do that. To me, there's some sort of insecurity there, or not insecurity.
He has an inner game issue.
An issue, and yeah, I wouldn't say
he has a belief maybe that doesn't work. And when you say like,
doesn't work,
there's been some guy, right, that's approached 2 girls and gone home with them, right?
It's proven.
It's happened sometime in
Oh,
history, right?
sure, yeah, absolutely.
So he has the belief that it doesn't work.
Right.
It's an inner belief for his inner game issue. So, yeah, inner game, the area of your game that deals with one's personal development, inner beliefs, core values, and life goals. So you get like deep into it. But I'm going to go through some community jargon first. Something that's going to come up time to time. Congruence, we kind of got into that earlier. The congruence of a woman begins a chat with you and she wants to shit test you to test your congruence of the man and the identity that you're portraying to her versus what she's seeing on the outside. So are you congruent with your self-image? Versus if the target sparks up a chat with Maz and he says, you know, I'm a DJ, and then she might shit test him and she'd be like, so you like know Serato and stuff? Do you know how to press like F1? Is he congruent with that image of a DJ? He comes back and says, oh yeah, when you do that, it does this. So he's congruent with his DJ image. Right?
Yeah.
You know?
That was good. I like that one, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was tight. That was good. Right, we're wingmen, so we're winging it.
So again, shit tests. She may shit test you. She might come up and be like, so you're wearing a purple shirt, huh? Don't you know purple's a gay color? And like she's gonna see like, what are you gonna say to that?
Right.
Do you have a better line to come back at her and be like, you know, like, are you gonna agree with her and be like, oh yeah, it's kind of gay, I'm gonna change my shirt? Or are you gonna be like, this is motherfucking Ralph Polo, bitch. Shit is $89. What? You know, and you don't buy into her frame.
Right.
Your identity, we go into this whole grounding sequence of when he begins a chat with his target, she says, you know, what do you do? Which is like a shit test in itself.
That is a question that is always asked, and not even that though. It's like from the beginning.
Yeah.
Is when you even open up a set, because
if she's attracted,
that is
to
like
you,
her first. That is like
she'll ask that question.
One of her 5 questions that she would ask in the beginning of any type of conversation. It's like, what do you do?
Right.
You know, and believe it or not, because I've had many experiences with this. Is because like a friend of mine, she started speed dating, and so like I wanted to go check it out and see what it was like, blah blah blah. And I tell you what, every time that timer would change and we'd have to move on to the next. The first thing that would come out of their mouth, because they got the pen ready and they're like, okay, what is your name, blah blah blah, and they can see it on me, obviously. She's like, but what do you do? And it's like, oh, so what are you giving me an interview already? I mean, shit. I just barely know your name.
What are you, an FBI?
What are you a cop? You know, what are you, a cop?
But that's good. If they ask you what you do,
you know, you just throw back in
it's saying that she's interested in getting to know you better. Which means that you are in the qualification phase. And right away, you can actually, most guys are going to qualify themselves to that question. Right? She asks, what do I do? And say,
I'm a matchmaker.
If I was a regular guy, I'm going to start saying like,
a DJ.
Well, I work at Home Depot and I make $16 an hour and I do this, and they begin qualifying herself. And right then she puts you in a little box and checks you off. Okay, he makes this much annually. You know what? This guy can't do it for me.
Yeah, it's like
I'm gonna go to the next guy.
It's like shopping for like fucking auto insurance.
You can kind of take it back on her. Say she asks what I do, and I say I might throw something at her. And say, what, are you qualifying me?
I'm a life coach.
And she might say right there, yeah, I am. I'm already in. And pretty much whatever I say, it doesn't really matter because she's already conveying interest. She's telegraphing so much interest to me. So that's when I come back and I don't want to just tell her like I'm a life coach or I'm a fireman or something like that. Because she might not be able to relate to that.
And that's exactly what I was explaining earlier. Like when I tell people, oh, I'm a landscaper, you know, I actually own my own business. They don't know what the fuck that is.
She hears that and she can't really relate to it. But
it's not an attraction switch. There is no attraction there. You know, until
because basically you just gave away
what I do.
The whole mystery right there. But he can change it and do this grounding sequence, right, where she says, "What do you do?" and he says. He can change it around and say, well, you know what? A couple years in high school, I'd look at the grounds, and I'd see like, you know, the grass was dead over here, and you know, like people were just walking over things and walls were broken. And I said, you know what, I want to make a change in the world. You know what? And I fell into
I think you're
learning about. Hold on. Oh yeah, you buy it now, but they eat it up. So he says, you know, so I started wanting to get to know how they do this. So I started talking to people, groundskeepers, and you know, gardening. I went to the town garden or whatever.
That's cute. That's cute.
And
That's cute.
I started learning how to do this stuff because I wanted to really create an environment that people would be proud to walk into, where they wouldn't want to walk on the flower, etc. And I've moved up to this point in my life where now I'm owning my own landscaping business. I create backyards. I mean, I've created the stuff that I've done. It looks like you're in a feng shui video. It's amazing. You walk in there and you can just relax, look at the stars at night, and it's an amazing thing. And you know, that's where I'm at now. And in the future, I plan to yada yada yada. So you're taking her back in time, telling her where you're going to where you are now, and then where you're planning.
Yeah, but you don't want to reveal
That's
too
it.
much. You don't want to reveal
True.
too much.
I'm just trying to go into the point of like she's looking for a guy with an identity that she can go along with, so she can
And
be the
not only
woman
that,
behind the
though,
man.
that has value. That brings value to your to his life.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing. That's what they're looking for.
Most guys try to take value.
Value is the most important thing.
She'll shit test a guy and say something like, "What do you do?" And he says, "I play guitar or I play piano, right?" And she says, and you kind of wonder like why he's doing it. He's like, "Well, I want to be in a band. I want to get a lot of girls. I want to make a lot of money, right?" It's all take.
Yeah.
Versus if he said something,
I want to do this, I want to do that.
It's
I
all a
wanna do
selfish
that.
paradigm.
I want to do that. I want to do that. Well, it's like, okay, well, why am I fucking talking to you then? You know?
because she's gonna feel like, okay, he wants something from me. Whether the paradigm of all of a sudden, what if you tell her, you know, like, well, I'm a musician. I've got into this because I have a plan to. I want to learn, say, piano, and I want to connect with this teacher who be able to align me with the plan, because I want to give, you know, music lessons and let people in third world countries know and be able to get music lessons for free. And if I align with this teacher, and he'll be able to help me out and get musical instruments and run a charity drive for this. So she starts seeing like, okay, this guy's a guy with a plan. He's not take. He's giving value to the world. She starts saying, instead of she's not coming from a groupie paradigm. Now she's coming from, okay, this guy's on a mission. I want to be the woman behind this guy.
I mean, I kind of have the opposite problem. I mean, seriously, like, if they find out, like my job, like they find out, like, they'll be like, well, you know, if I tell them, okay, I'm a pro poker player, they're like, oh, really? Have you ever won a big tournament, something like that? And I'm like, but I have. And like, when they find that out, I mean, it's like, it's kind of like, now I want to make sure they like me for my personality and not for my job or whatever.
Nick has the same question, same
Nick,
problem.
Nick is a poker player.
And we'll be sitting
There's
there,
a lot of poker
and they'll
players.
always ask that question:
Oh,
what's the biggest pot you've ever won?
Yeah,
And
stuff like
then-
that.
That's where, like, usually he's with me, like with one of his wings, and then I'll jump in and I'll be like, is she always nosy like this? So I'll throw a neg at her, and he'll be like, I know, geez, that's kind of personal. Shit, at least buy me a drink before you, like, you know, try to get at me like that. Or what are you qualifying me? Do you want my He'll say something. He's like, did you want my bank account number while you're with that? And it shuts her up so quick. She's
Like,
like,
oh,
no,
those are
I
cute earrings,
that.
but I hope you're not trying to let me know that I'm jumping through those hoops or something.
Yeah. But as soon as you kind of test her back, then she'll shut up and she'll be like, okay. Because she knows, like, every other, say, pro poker player that she's asked that question to, right away they've been like, oh, $36,000 or I've won like over $100,000, like trying to impress her.
Yeah.
Rather, if you put her in her place like a little girl, and you're like, shit, dude, like, I don't even, like, are you always this nosy, something like that? You'll start to let her know, like, oh shit, I'm acting like a bitch, so you can, like,
And that's
take
why,
out of her frame and have her buy into your frame.
Exactly, and believe it or not, that's where a wingman comes into play too. So you don't have to demonstrate the value that you have for yourself. He can do it for you. It's a lot better for him to say it than it is for you to say it. What you do for a living.
Yeah, she might ask Nick directly, and she'll say, like, what do you do? And I'll be like, oh my god, This guy is the fucking insanest poker player I've ever seen. If you seen him on the tables, your eyes would like light up. This guy's fucking insane. I don't know if like he's playing some kind of weird calculus shit in his head. And then she's like, oh my gosh, you play poker for a living? He's like, yeah. And I'll be like, this motherfucker doesn't work for a living. He plays cards. He's like playing Texas Hold'em online all day. And she's like, wow, that's so cool. What's the biggest pot you've ever known? And then right there, I'm like, damn, is she always this nosy? And then he's like, oh my god, geez, what the heck? You know? And then right there, she starts, like, his status starts going up, and she starts dropping. And right there, at that point, she'll usually start apologizing. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be like that. And right there, you got her. The bitch show, we went into that last week. She's been hit on by, like, 30 douchebags by, 11 p.m. in the club, and you go try to talk to her, and she's just giving you the, yeah. She's, like, not giving you nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, that's why we go into negs and to break through that shield, so you can start sparking an emotional connection with her. Whereas most guys, like, her shield gets thicker and thicker as more guys come up and they say like, hey, you are beautiful. Can I buy you a drink? And then she's like, whoa, next. So you're gonna encounter the bitch shield.
You always gotta keep the frame that she always has it on. To me, I feel like a woman, she never has her shield down. Because that's just the human nature laws of attraction.
And they'll end up they'll shit test you pretty much for the rest of your life. There's not like a certain spot where they stop doing it.
Yeah, don't think like once you get her like things are all fucking gravy now. You gotta keep you gotta be like I said, you have to still become the man that she fell in love with.
I was married for 10 years, and 10 years later, she's still giving me she's like, yeah, most guys do this, but you would never do that, would you? Like, trying to see if I would buy into her frame, and I'm like, I do what I do, you know who I am. She's like, and she'll give you that kind of sad face, like you're not supplicating to her. And then what happens, you lean back, and then she feels compelled to, like, get closer to you. It's the weirdest shit. Frame is like the way that you see the world. From, say, my frame,
you paint your own
I can
picture,
walk
man.
up to a girl and
Paint
tell
your
her,
own picture.
I'm a pickup artist. I teach guys how to pick up women. And for my frame, I'm still going to win because I know that it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Other guys will say, oh, I can't tell her I'm a pickup artist. Oh my God, she'll think I'm a player. She'll think I'm this. Because that's his frame. That's the way he sees the world. And if he sees the world like that, and she buys into his frame, then if he tells her that, she's going to be like, start shiz testing him. She's going to break him down, and he's not going to know how to react. From my frame, I can tell her that as part of my identity.
But he's confident. He's confident in what he sticks by. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Right.
So like when they give him shit tests, he's got a whole bunch of fucking material to back it up.
Yeah.
You know
Basically, what'll happen is
that's the great thing about this guy right here, man. Is like he knows his fucking shit.
What'll happen is, let's imagine you're in a room, right? You're in a room with like 5 other people, and if you believe what you believe and you can convey it better than them, then they will buy your shit, whatever you're selling. Because the stronger frame will eat the weaker frame.
Right.
The sky is blue, yet you believe the sky is green, and somehow you can tell them why it's green. You can convince them that they're colorblind, something like that. If somehow you come off more confident, sooner or later they're going to be like, maybe the sky is green. It's frame control, controlling the frame. There's a great example.
Don't feel bad, bro, if you don't retain all the information in tonight, bro, because like I said, we're here to help you out. And so you're actually getting something that nobody else has ever got yet. So,
Okay, cool.
So don't feel like, oh my God, I gotta, I mean, because trust me, I've been like that before. To where I was like, oh, I gotta learn this shit, oh my God. Just let it come to you,
Right.
Don't try to force it.
The great thing on this frame control aspect right here is like, a lot of guys will walk up and say hi, and she says right away, she's like, I have a boyfriend. And most guys buy into the frame of, oh, she just rejected me, okay, I'm gonna eject. Instead,
Well, that's cool.
I might be like, My frame is like, she started talking to me, she said she had a boyfriend, so my frame is that she's open to communication. I'm gonna answer her question. She said, I have a boyfriend, and I say, oh, really, where's he at? Is he a cool guy? It's hard to meet cool people in Vegas. Can he cook? Shit, the three of us should hang out sometime. Maybe he can cook for us. Right? It's just totally, and then she's like, her brain
She never heard that before.
right there.
She has never heard that before.
Because every other guy was like, oh, you have a boyfriend? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they go like this.
She's never experienced that. And it's like, oh my god, okay, this guy's not trying to hit on me. See, the whole
Or another
point
one
is
is-
that you're working under the radar, believe it or not, if you think you are or not.
He's
But
seen
you
me
are.
before doing this one thing where I walked up to this girl and where I was like, hey, I'm Ryan, yeah, this is DJ Madison, and she's like, oh, hey, what's going on? I have a boyfriend. And immediately I was like, really? Where's he at? And she's like, he's in Europe. And I was like, that must suck for you, dude. I mean, you're at this party and you're not able to spend time with someone that you love. That sucks. You must be really lonely right now. And she's like, oh, how did you know?
That is a good way
Boom.
to fucking.
Any other guy would have been
That
like,
is a
oh, you
good
have a
way to get
boyfriend?
to fuck her real quick, dude.
Yeah. And I'll come off with some shit like this that's just fucks
Because
with their brain.
she might have a fucking boyfriend, but the moment that he's fucking gaming,
And what happened after that,
he can get to a level where he's gonna fucking boom.
she said that, she's like, most guys would do that. I was like, well, not most guys. Anyway, like, you know, what's going on? I mean, he's not here, but it doesn't mean you can't have a good time. This is my friend Maz, dude. We were just hanging out. This is my other friend Catherine. And you seem pretty cool. High five. And I'm fucking start spinning her around. Next thing, she's with the set, and then we're moving her. So if you can control the frame, then you can control the entire interaction. Self-esteem, I made the definition right here. It's like self-esteem is our experience of being competent to cope with the basic challenges of life and being worthy of happiness. The higher self-esteem, the higher the more you're going to be able to conversate with that girl. Like the guy say with lower self-esteem, he may eject quicker because he's going to not want to feel the discomfort or he's going to feel unworthy. The higher self-esteem guy's going to be able to just sit back and bullshit with her like it's nothing, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And it works the same way with women too. Like there might be a girl with high self-esteem versus like an LSG, a low self-esteem girl. And the high self-esteem girl is the one that's going to keep testing you and it's going to give you that playful banter. You'll know the LSG, she'll some guys like say slut, like she'll kind of just sleep with anyone. She's looking to be loved, she's looking for the attention, affection, approval of some guy. She has daddy issues, whatever. And she may be more receptive to your interaction, your approach, your conversation. You'll start noticing like different people's self-esteem level, they'll react different. Approach anxiety. Do you get that you feel?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
What does it feel like to you?
It's just like I don't know. Like I just start thinking about what they're gonna think or something. Like I don't know. I just start thinking of
That's the problem right there is
stuff like
you're
that.
thinking about what she's already thinking
And,
before you even say anything.
and like if I go talk to this girl, like I don't know. Just, I guess what to say, and like all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or what she's thinking, or this and that,
But it's a little bit of like a. Kind
Everybody,
of feel scary, a little bit.
we have all been there, man.
Yeah.
So don't feel left out. For one, the only thing that you can change is excuse me, is do things like that is outside your norm. Do things that you normally don't do.
Does that ever go away? That approach anxiety?
It does go. Even, but still to this day, I still do. I
You
swear
learn
to
how
God,
to cope with it.
I still do. Yes, it's always gonna be there, but is how you cope with it. Is how you control it.
Yeah.
Is the key.
It's a hardwired reaction.
Because everybody
have what I'm drunk, but I mean, if I'm,
everybody gets
That's
it.
what.
Everybody gets it.
Uh,
Male or female, we all get it.
yeah.
And that's the reality of it. And so it's for you to be good at that, to where you can control it yourself.
Now, can I add something here?
Instead of letting it control you.
Just on the back, as far as the boot camp, AA was pretty bad. So it's all right. this is how you're gonna get rid of it. You're gonna go into sets and you're just gonna blow them up yourself. Purposely go in there and just try to just blow yourself out. That'll get rid of that fact that you care about the conversation. So that's what I started doing. Instead of walking into sets, hi, my name is Richard. How are you guys doing today? And it is like, at some point you find out that even though you're trying to blow out the set, and because you're just being genuine, you'll find that people actually want to talk to you, trying to blow out the set. And it's like they sit there and they conversate with you, and you're like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be blowing myself out of this thing right now. And you'll find that it's all in your head. There's the whole thing, all the negativity, it's all in your head.
Anything is in your head though. Like, I mean, when you feel like you think you're sick, but you're really not, it's in your head. It really is, you know. It's just another belief system to where you feel there's some sort of circuitry that is stopping you from achieving to where the ultimate goal.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like this girl, okay, like I had to go to the orthodontist, and I mean she was like, you know, what do you do? I said I'm a pro poker player, you know, and then I don't know, but she just started talking to me, and like, but like, you know, the dentist, the other high dentists were around, but I mean, I think she liked me, but I didn't want to ask her out because all those people were around. Like I don't know, like if I could have got her alone and talked to her a little bit, like since like, the environment all that affected me.
Is to get her alone, because just the fact that she might feel like she's alone, you know, but she needs her friend there, because that's her support system right there. So, you know, it can work. You know, like I do, like the other gentleman right here. He's like he waits until there's the right type of move, which. Maybe she might go to the bar by herself, and that's where you want to react. Yes, I mean that's. But wouldn't you consider that she might already know that fucking approach? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think like she might already have some sort of incentive to where, you know, okay, I'm gonna go to the bar by myself. I know I'm gonna get hit on at least 5 times in this whole process.
Oh, a girl, yeah, they get hit on so much, right? Yeah.
And so like
bars especially.
She's gonna feel she's gonna turn you off.
Yeah, I mean I can see that. I mean it's just I got to.
Because if a woman goes by herself, that means her fucking shielded up. Full force.
Yeah.
More so than when she's with her friends. Because when she's with her friends, then she gets to the point where she can kind of just open up a little bit. Maybe towards you if you're talking to her, but she's opening up to herself just by hanging out with her friends and what she does. You know what I'm saying? And how she likes to have fun. And that's the thing. It's all about having fun. You know, if you can get her to have some fun with you, then you got it.
Affirmations. These are words and exercises you can use to start changing your limiting beliefs. Like if you looked in my bathroom, you'd notice like I have all these crazy things like I am a star believer. I am this. I am making this much money a year.
I got a big fat dick.
I got a big fat dick. Whatever it may be. Usually to make an affirmation.
The pussy. I eat the.
To kind of change your limiting beliefs, you're using. You would write an affirmation like, say, what's like an annual salary you'd like to make.
Right. Like.
Give me a number. Anything you want.
I mean, I don't even think about that really. An annual salary, yeah.
Or like
100K is good.
100K,
That's
cool.
good.
So, if you weren't making 100K, you would write an affirmation that says, "I am making 100,000 a year."
Yeah.
And "I am" is saying that it's from you, which is making a command to the universe. And then you're thinking and believing and acting as if you already had that $100,000 in your back pocket.
Right.
And you feel that vibration, and you emit that to the universe, and it sends that frequency back to you.
Beats up.
Because most people are complaining about why they don't have $100,000.
Oh, okay.
So they emit that
Yeah,
frequency of not having it, and not having it comes back and forth. So,
How you doing, man?
hey, man.
How's your day going?
Chilling, man.
Good, good.
Brain control techniques.
I'm glad
Good
to
to see you
see.
again,
I'm
man.
glad to see the changes in you, bro. I'm
I can
happy,
see it,
bro.
dude, big time.
I can smell the confidence.
Smell the pussy.
Oh yeah, hit that shit up too, baby. Blow that shit up.
It's tight.
Yeah, bro. Isn't that a great feeling, man? When you get
Yeah,
that
it is.
shit, dude. Your cock feels all warm inside.
Do you guys want plates? There's up in that left cupboard.
What you learn in brain control, use it in the stripper game, because that's the hardest game there is.
It is. Well, at least I know I'm doing something right.
Yeah, so you got a bunch of these newbies going into stripper game for the first time ever,
Oh, sure.
and they're sitting there battling it out with strippers. Like, man, it's a sight to see. The girls at some point were ready to just kill us, because they knew that they were going to come talk to us, and none of us were going to buy any of the dances. They wanted to kick us out.
Information. Did you social proof the venue?
Here's the funny part. The roles got reversed. At some point, we just did not want these girls talking to us, right? Because we knew we had to turn them down. So we're sitting there, and we're watching the girls walk around the club, kind of like guys walk the club, stalking for girls. And you're sitting there going, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me. Make eye contact. Oh, she saw me. Hi, how you doing? Like, doing fine. And she's running into her game. So you feel like the girl in the club. Okay, another guy just talking game. It's really, it's a mindfuck.
That's crazy.
That's what's so hard, bro.
Whole new perspective on the game.
See, and you know what though? What's gotten me so good so fast is because that's where I started. That's where I practice all my shit, is going to strip clubs.
For real? I had a couple like asked me like, yeah, a couple wanted to hang out with me, but I was like, I don't know. I mean, just because I was like,
You know why? Because granted, if I take them home or not, still I'm not gonna see them ever again. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the ratio in that shit?
God, this girl, man, her tits were about this big, man. She was like, I told her, I said, I have a girlfriend, you know, I said, and after I told her that, she was like, well, I'm jealous, you know, she said, I want to go out, she said, you know, she was like, just talking, I don't know, sounded like she wanted to get together with me, but I didn't ask her because I just figured, probably a gold digger or something like that, you know what I'm saying?
It's probably that though. I mean, you did it right, you did it right. Because ultimately, that's where they're there for.
The strippers, most of them, they're all of
You know, that's why I said it's a hit and miss. It's a hit and miss.
Yeah.
Those type of plays, but it doesn't matter. You know, they're making me stronger, and I'll go through them like nothing.
Pizza, man. Thanks, bro.
You know why? Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it, just not even give a fuck.
I know what I'm looking for.
Right.
And when I find it, I'm gonna go after it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't give a fuck, because she don't know. Like I said, she don't know what's going on. That's why I don't care.
Oh, that's good stuff.
What I would really like to know is like, okay, what did I do differently than the other guy in order to pull him? You know, to pull him. You know, that's my question.
Shit, where do I put my beer?
You want a thing?
Okay, this is not it. Ah, my grandfather's favorite beer.
Love the Budweiser.
You look like a Bud White.
I always like to
Bud
know
Light girl.
what the outcome was of the situation that I played, you know? And so even for me, I don't know what went wrong. I thought I had everything right, but it didn't go down, so I just walked off.
Play your game.
Hey. This belief thing, it's like, Tony Robbins says this the best. He's like, an idea is like a tabletop. It becomes a belief the day that you put legs under that tabletop, which is basically a metaphor for maybe someone tells you is like, you know, hey, girls aren't going to respond to you if you just do a certain action, if you just stand on the wall. So you walk up and you stand on the wall, no girls respond to you. Now you kind of mentally put the legs under the tabletop. And until the more that it happens to you, the bigger the legs get. And it's harder to break that belief. Until you get to the point where maybe someone tells you a new belief of they will respond to you if you're standing there or if you do this. And then you go do that and they respond, and all of a sudden it will shatter your limiting belief to an empowering belief. You ask the guy, he says, my fear is I'm afraid to approach a random woman on the street. So I'm going to question his belief and say, was there ever a time in your life that you did talk to a random woman on the street? He says, well, of course I have. And I say, do you think this will ever happen again? He says, probably. So in actuality, do you ever talk to random women on the street? He says, yeah, I guess I do. So you're telling me now that you do talk to random women on the street? He says, yes. Can you make a conscious effort to repeat that action regularly? He says, all right, yes I can. He said, I want you to make a conviction to yourself that I talk to random women on the street all the time. It's not a big deal. Tomorrow you're going to approach a random woman on the street, even if all you do is walk up and say hi. In that time, I know your new belief is going to be formed. So your new belief system now from I'm afraid to approach random women on the street becomes I approach random women on the street all the time. Approaching and starting a random conversation with a woman is fun and easy. So that's kind of the way that it works. So sometimes we'll sit and like reframe each other's beliefs.
These where affirmations come into play too. You know, if affirmations, if you can consistently tell.
Let's say Matt says,
I love myself. I got a big cock.
Yeah, that's good.
I can fuck women all day.
Let's say he tells me he's like he's having a hard time.
Those are beliefs that you.
And he says, fuck, this game is hard. And I say, it's not hard, it's easy. And you'd be like, yeah, but we have to do all this work.
It is tough.
And then I come back and I might say like, well, was there ever a time we just breezed through this? And he's like, well, there was that one time that we fucking just went in and opened that set, bam, bam, bam. And I was like, so is it always hard? Well, it can't always be hard if that happened. Right? So we'll work on kind of reframing to keep the mindset of, you know, this shit is not this shit.
But in reality, it is hard though. Anything that you do in life it takes time and it's tough.
Yeah.
And you have to work towards it. Like I'm telling you, you have to work towards it. So it is tough.
Actually,
it just didn't come to me.
I use that as an example, what you just said, like the way I was saying frame. His entire frame of the world is that it's tough and anything that you want to do takes time. There may be another guy who's a natural that says, oh, this shit is easy, you just go out and do this. He has a different frame of reality. So that's where things start to contradict themselves. You ever watch Star Trek?
Not really. A little bit.
Well, this guy Spock on there, the guy with the ears.
Yeah.
I've probably seen him. He says, we learn to control our emotions so that they don't control us. So I go into anger management right here. This is a system of psychological therapeutic techniques and exercises by which someone with excessive or uncontrollable anger can control or reduce the triggers, degrees, and effects and angered emotional state. Basically, by controlling our emotions, we'll be able to control the frame of the interaction. So I'm going to like a diagram here of how to the 3 ways that you can control anger. So there's 3 ways that you can basically handle anger. Have you ever heard of like the assertive, the passive, and the aggressive model?
Not really.
Cool. So there's 3 ways that you can basically channel your anger. There's the passive or no decision. There's the aggressive or destructive route, and then there's the assertive and constructive route. So let's say like you have an anger issue about something. You just got fired from your job, right? There's 3 ways. There's only 3 ways that you can really handle it. If you do the passive route, which is no decision, which equals no action, you lose instantly, right? Because if you just sit there and whine, bitch, and complain about, oh, I lost my job, oh, fuck it, it wasn't going to work out anyway, right? It's just going to lead to increasing your depression. Your depression is going to raise, and you're going to fall back into this anger cycle, right? It's just going to make you more angry because now you don't have a job, now you don't have any money coming in. So to beat that, you have to make a decision. Either it's going to be assertive or aggressive. If you do the destructive route, which will be like an action not in favor of meeting the needs of yourself, say like hurting yourself, hurting others, drains your energy, actions not supported by community or anything with immediate gratification. Fuck, I lost my job. I pop a hole in the wall. I didn't really help the situation, right?
Right.
Now I have a hole in the wall, which is going to cost me more money that I don't have because I don't have a job.
Yeah.
Ultimately, in time, like that's just going to make my stress increase, and I'm going to fall back in this aggressive, negative anger cycle. So, you have an issue. Fuck, I lost my job. Now I'm going to have to make an assertive, constructive decision, an action in favor of meeting needs, work at getting needs met myself. Anything that's slow, committed, disciplined. Any mature decision, anything that's good to myself and others, anything with delayed gratification. Lost my job, I could whine, bitch, and complain, I could break something, I could hurt myself, or I could say, fuck it, I'm gonna start trying to go for a new job, ultimately get a new job, and increase my well-being. Later it's going to increase my income, my friends, my freedom, amount of love, creativity, leisure, or whatever is specific for the life that's perfect for you, what you're looking for. So if you begin to start handling, if you know the cycle in your head, if it's stuck on your autonomic nervous system, you become unconsciously competent of how I'm going to handle every issue in my life, then you start always moving this route. Boom. And if you start moving this route and ignoring these, you start moving in a much more positive direction, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. But it takes a while. You can't do it immediately if you, like these things, like say you don't have enough, you want to get a lot of dates or whatever, you got, like what we're doing right here, it takes a while, right? You can't just do it overnight. Kind of.
In regards to like women and dating, it's more like a lot of guys will come in and they'll be angry, or they're like, I want it to be this way, and they're fighting it. They're saying, well, I should be able to walk into a club and have 10 women on me. But the problem is that in reality it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So it's like the only thing that you can really do is accept that it's not that way, and the fact that I'm going to have to display some kind of value to these women to attract them in. So I can either sit there and fight it and fight it and fight it and just get pissed off and like burn emotional energy, creating more stress.
That's where I feel like Scott went, dude.
Mm-hmm. Scott, yeah, good example.
God, bro, it's like I didn't want to take him anywhere because his attitude was just like so negative. It's like, fuck that, bro. I'm not even gonna try and deal with talking to women around him, because he, and that's, I was like that, and that's the thing. He needs to like just step out of that frame that he's got going on.
Who are you talking about?
I can't do it for him.
I think you met him before. He's in like the guy's in a real like negative mindset, right?
Right.
Where he's just saying, we're saying like, go try this technique.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been doing what you've been doing your whole life, you're going to get the same results. So we're going to say, do you want to keep hitting your head against the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to try something new and maybe change the results, change your future, change your life? And he's like, well, I want it to be this way. It shouldn't have to do that. And he's going to keep beating his head against the wall and keep getting the same bullshit
Same
he's
result.
been getting his whole life. Like ego versus ego. Any argument is basically caused by your ego versus their ego. They're each defending their individual perceptions of their reality. Like, if I feel like, if you have a Republican versus a Democrat, right?
Right.
He has his version of the truth, this guy's version of the truth. But in truth, all truths are just partial truths, and partial truths change over time. So this guy believes this guy believes this. They start an argument just because of their social programming. When in actuality, we're just a bundle
And
of
who's got the most money
good DNA and bad DNA, which is supposed to be
to win the campaign.
survived and replicated. So you get into these fights, and it's really all about ethics, the way the guy's been raised. It's all really irrelevant.
It's a process. You're not gonna see it overnight, but you know, as long as you made the first step and you came here, and that's what's most important.
Yeah.
We're here to make
and
it
if
great,
you continue to
bro.
come here, you continue to see changes in your life as in a positive direction, and I stand by that 100%.
That's awesome.
100%. My first success story when I came in here, you know, so I mean, it was it's like maybe the first or second week. I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing.
Those are the best ones.
And I was feeding her in the fucking pool, dude. The public pool and shit, bro. I stick my cock in her too.
There's again, it's the same kind of model. There's only the 3 ways that you can go about it. There's the passive, aggressive, and assertive route. So if you're feeling anxiety, say about, go talk to that woman right there. And all of a sudden, like you feel like, shit, I don't know what to say. I don't know. Yeah. Or there's actually the 4th route. There's the fight or flight thing. That's the, like, basically the other passive, destructive way to deal with it. So let's say I say, go talk to that girl, and you do nothing. Again, you'll lose interest instantly, and you go back to the paradigm of, fuck, I should have talked to her. You go back, you ever not talk to the girl and the rest of the day, you beating yourself up about it? Yeah. You lay down at night and you're sitting there thinking over and over, like, I should have talked to her. All I had to do was say hi, whatever. The worst thing that happened is she says no. Worst thing, she says fuck off, right? No big deal. But if you keep not doing anything, again, your depression goes up and you fall back into that cycle. And then you fall into dealing with your anxiety with an outside circumstance, such as like overeating, overspending, workaholism, addictions, alcohol, drugs, medication, something to like deal with your anxiety. Though usually you'll see a lot of heavy set people, and they tend to like overeat because they want to like, or they start smoking a lot, or they start drinking a lot because they want to.
Yeah.
Even say I have anxiety about speaking in front of public, but I can, my fight or flight mechanism kicks in, and I say, well, I can drink a little bit of alcohol, and cool, I'm perfectly fine up here. But a lot of the PUA mentality is basically trying to control our state, so that I can go into a club without using any alcohol, any drugs, and be able to be that guy and just walk through and say like, hey, what's going on? I'm Ryan. Completely relaxed, controlling my state again. So now let's say I say go talk to that girl, and you're like, okay, you're either gonna do it, or you can either make the aggressive decision or the assertive. If you go the aggressive route, you're like worry and complain. Again, actions not in favor of meeting your needs, martyr thinking, victim thinking, helplessness, worry, complain, poor me attitude, immediate gratification. It's the like, I tell you, go up to her, but then like you might argue. You'll be like, well, she wouldn't want me because I only make $30,000 a year, or because my car's a Volkswagen Bug or something like that, making some kind of justification for yourself why she wouldn't talk to you, which is where we come into the restructuring limiting beliefs, where I say, well, there's some guy before that's had a Volkswagen Bug and only makes $30,000. He got laid, right? So it has nothing to do with that. It's something inside yourself. So in the end, all you can do is make the assertive decision to build courage for yourself and go in. What's going to happen is now you have an action in favor of meeting your needs. You're doing the right thing, facing your fears that are not truly dangerous. In the end, she's not going to punch you. She's not going to bite you. She's not going to like call some guy to go to your house and fucking blast you, right? Yeah. It's a mature decision. It's supported by society. It's delayed gratification. What's going to happen there, even if she says no, she says, fuck off, get out of my face, your confidence level is going to increase, right? Because you went in, balls out. And in the end, if she did say yes and she accepted your approach, your confidence goes up anyway. So this is a win-win situation. The other two, you just come back into the cycle. A lot of people, like these are the 3 main fears that guys have: public speaking, approach anxiety, and flying. So, when it comes to those, it's like, just go balls out with it. These are the states of where you want to be, finding durable fulfillment. if you're feeling neutral, you're not necessarily happy, you're kind of just here, right? On the verge of anger and anxiety. Verging this way is first you're feeling kind of cautious, maybe regretful, creeped out, terrified, all the way to anxiety, versus boredom, annoyance, pissed off, enraged. This is on the anger spectrum. And what we want to do is manage our emotional energy and transfer it from anxiety to confidence and from anger to well-being. And when you're feeling good, when you're feeling in state, perfect happiness is kind of like right here, transferring here. If you move towards confidence, you're feeling carefree, to defiant, like all the way over here is like I'm skydiving, it's free. On this side is like contentment, pleasant, I'm feeling relaxed. All the way that side toward well-being is like sleeping. So right in the middle is kind of like right where you want to be. That's that state where you're just like full of life, full of energy. You could just walk up and, hey, what's going on, Brian? I'm Ryan. Bam, and you can control the interaction. You might start with your approach anxiety. Again, you do nothing, and your anxiety is going to increase. Now, if you feel the fear and you do it anyway, you move into A1 and you open. Hey guys, did you see the fight outside? Bam, I've opened. If she rejects me, again, my courage is going up, and if she rejects me, that's fine. I repeat, I go back to A1. This set's out, gone. I'm at this set. Hey guys, I need a female opinion. Well, who do you think lies more, men or women? Boom, I open again. She rejects me, my courage goes up again. I'm starting to get used to like opening these sets now. And by getting in a talkative state, opening people, I'm going to be more open to meeting more sets. So again, this one's stalled out. I walk up to these guys. Guys, I need a female opinion. Would you date a guy who still had pictures of his ex-girlfriend? I mean, she like wants me to burn him, blah, 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 right? Boom, she's like, she hooks the set. She took the bait right there. And she starts saying, you know what? I had a boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. Boom, she took it. I can move into A2, which can move into A3. If I fail here, I go back to A1. Now I can get stuck in this positive cycle and start advancing, right? And like, again, the game, like there's no really saving in this game. You're just going to keep going. But once you can get into this cycle, you can start winning. But if you stay in this cycle of, fuck, I'm going to freeze up, I can't talk to her, oh shit. It's actually gonna be worse for you. Suffering is what happens. You ever lay down at night and you try to sleep, and you sit there worrying about what happened during the day or worrying about what's gonna happen tomorrow?
Yeah.
That happens right there is like this stress, right? If you're thinking about something in the past and you're regretting something that happened yesterday, or you're in the future worrying about what's gonna happen tomorrow, you have zero control over what's going on at those points, right? Because you're actually here in the present. You're laying down there at night trying to sleep. You have 100% control over what's happening in the present, but zero in the past and the future. And the more you regret things in the past, the more you lead into revenge, which goes to aggression, which gives you more stress, and you end up in this cycle. In the future, the more you worry about what's going to happen tomorrow, you begin developing jealousy, which leads to aggression, back to stress, and you get in that negative cycle. So most people are in different time frames throughout the day. You might be behind the wheel of a car, but you're not actually thinking like, okay, I'm on this street, I'm going to stop at this light, I'm going to shift into neutral, whatever. They're either thinking about what happened last night or what they're going to do at the location they get to. So we try to get more into that moment and start just living in the now, where you're like, this is what's going on now, I have 100% control of this. Let's just forget about the rest of the bullshit that's going on and focus on the task. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Changing perspectives. A lot of men, they see like this woman as this sun, right? Like a giant beam of light, and they want to like say like, this girl is absolutely perfect, she's a perfect 10, she must have everything perfect in her life. Fuck, I want to talk to her. In reality, you're going to find out that some people are mostly light, some people are mostly dark, but they all have a little bit of both. Everyone has a little bit of light, a little bit of dark. So we try to, in the seduction community, we try to go in and give them half and half. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. She's not perfect, but she's not all bad. And if you come in with this paradigm instead of this, imagine the difference in the way that you talk to her. instead of walking up to this beautiful hot blonde and just saying like, you are so perfect, I'm putting you on a pedestal, right? How about going in and already knowing that she's not perfect, she has fucking weird emotional issues, you know? She probably still sleeps with her teddy bear, she's not perfect, right? And if I can go in and just talk to her like a human being, just a person, I'm gonna develop a lot more rapport and trust with her because she's gonna feel like, this guy's not trying to get something out of me, he's not like idolizing me, he's not putting me on a pedestal, he's just treating me like another person. This is a NLP exercise. You know anything about NLP?
No, not too much. No, I've heard about it, but I haven't really read about that yet.
It's neuro-linguistic programming, and basically what you're doing is you're going to begin to change the self-image, the way that you see yourself. You know, I'd like you to basically use both your hands, and I want you to see who you are in your left hand, and then I want you to see the image of who you want to be, say, 3 months from now, where you're trying to go. Do that now. And I want you to kind of focus on the two of those. Say the one in your left hand, the you right now, and I want you to see the one in your right hand, which is the you 3 months from now, 90 days from now. And I want you to imagine the one in your right hand, the new you, getting bigger. And I want you to see the old you getting smaller. And look at the two of those. Focus on the new you, where you're trying to go. Whether you're winning poker, whether you're being more successful with women, whether you have a new car, I want you to see the way that your life is going to be in 90 days from now. And the you right now is shrinking. It's getting smaller, smaller, smaller. And then I want to take you two of those and I want you to clasp them together. Because I don't want you to lose your old self. I want you to keep some of your old self. But I want the new you to begin to take over your self-image. Cool? So you'll begin to see yourself as that guy. And by beginning to see yourself as that guy, your brain is going to start to proactively seek out ways so that that becomes you.
Pretty cool.
I did that first, like that was me, say 5 years ago, and I began saying, I want to be this guy. Well, it worked for me. So now I became that guy, and now I'm doing it again, say to become this guy. And over time, you can do this exercise anytime you want. You can be sitting at work and do that. And you just start focusing on the new you of how you see yourself. This is from a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. You ever read it?
I have it on audio, but I haven't listened to it yet. I've heard of it.
That's really good for running through A3 in the qualification phase, and just letting the woman talk and giving her basically sincere appreciation for what she does. A lot of guys sit there and try to talk, right? And monopolize the conversation. But what I found is more effective is if you just lean back, ask her, say, you know, what do you do for a living? She says, I'm trying to be an actress. And instead of saying something like, oh wow, that would be totally cool. Yeah, you could be. I used to live in Hollywood. Blah blah blah. Right? Because that's monopolizing. And then she's just thinking like, okay, you could shut up. Instead, just leaning back and saying like, well, what gave you the passion to do that? You know, that would be awesome if you're an actress. Like, you know, what brought you to that route in life? And then she'll be like, oh, well, blah blah blah. And she starts talking about herself, which is again running your clock. And you're just kind of babysitting her. You know, you're already in comfort. Babysit her for 4 to 6 hours and close the deal. So and then when she tells you why she's doing that, then you give her this sincere appreciation of, you know, that's fucking awesome. You know, all these other girls out here, they really ain't doing shit. I mean, you seem, you know, when I first met you, your first impression kind of sucked, but you know, I meet you now and you're like one of the most ambitious, goal-oriented people I've ever met. You're a catch. That's amazing. See what I'm saying? And she's just eating it up.
Oh, cool. Yeah. The NLP thing. That's pretty cool. I hadn't read about that. Yeah, I was like,
Pretty badass presentation. I like the charts.
Yeah?
They really.
I know you didn't get a chance to see that last time I did that.
Yeah, the charts really help. They help you visualize stuff better.
Yeah. Good man. I'm glad you guys got some value out of that. It's Let's fucking take a break and eat.